Hey everyone, I'm here with Lewis only today, and we're going to do a kind of a short handstands conditioning class. So our studio currently doesn't have a handstands teacher specifically, and I do have a couple suggestions for that we have worked with some really great coaches that specialize in handstands in our area, including Violet Defiant. She's currently living in Brattleboro, but maybe when she comes back. And also we have Taylor Aquino, who has come and taught at our studio and specializes in handstands. So I just want to give you some exercises to work on at home that can be really fun. And one great thing about working on handstands is that it is the opposite motion of aerial. So in aerial we do a lot of pulling, and in handstands you do a lot of pushing. So in a lot of ways this can be a great form of PT for you while you are off of the aerial. So we're going to start with a short jumping jack variation. It's going to look like this. You'll come out into a lunge, tap your hand down, together, out. 4, 5, 6. Make sure that your knees are stacking right over your ankles here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Hello. Hello, hips. And come into a down dog position. Take one leg up. In your down dog position, we're going to be working on down dog position a few ways today. So try to keep your hips up and really open your shoulders. So opposite motion is a plank position. We want to be out of the plank position and in an open shoulder, so ears next to shoulder. I'm going to take one leg up, and I'm going to take my leg up and down, pulsing 10 times. Really pushing into my hands to maintain that feeling of push versus pull like I was just talking about. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull that leg in, set it down, stack knee on top of the ankle, come up to your lunge position. And we're just going to bend and straighten the leg here. You'll notice my hips are not bobbing up and down. I'm just trying to get a motion of engaging, so sort of the feeling of pressing my heels together here. Couple more. Very nice. Take that foot back, switch to the other side, take the leg up, 10 pulses, flexing those toes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lunge on the other side. Knee on top of the ankle. Nice straight back leg. You can put your hands on your hips here. Find yourself in a nice deep lunge, and then bending and straightening the back leg without moving the hips up and down. Couple more. Excellent. Hands down. Come back to your down dog. Take a moment here and bend your knees. So just working on keeping your hips nice and high, like so. We're going to practice hopping our feet up to our hands. So I'm going to have a moment. I'm going to talk about a term called floating, and that means that I'm going to try to have a moment where my feet are airborne in between getting from the back of my mat to the front of my mat. I want to land really soft. So if that means that you don't get your feet all the way up to your hands, that is okay. But I want you to try, even if it's just a 1 foot hop that is okay. So spread your fingers nice and wide, nice straight elbows. We're gonna bend our knees and we're gonna give like a little spring hop. Our feet to our hands, land really soft, come into a squat. If you're pretty tight in your squat, or this is a pretty painful position, you can land a bit higher, and that is okay. Hands back down. We're gonna try to hop ourselves back. Press into your hands. Take your butt up. Hop yourself back. Let's go a couple more times. Look at your hands. Set your knees. You got a little spring in your back knee, and hop. Land soft. Take a squat. Hands back down. Now hop it back. Lock it up. And again, knees into the chest. Look at your hands. Set yourself up and hop. Land nice and soft with control. And back. Let's do one more. Knees in, look at your hands, set yourself up, and hop. Nice and soft. Land. And back. Nice work. Let's come down onto our butts and work on our hollow body position. In circus classes, we're pretty familiar with the term hollow body, but in case you're not, really, we've done some kind of hollow body in all of our classes, even these online ones, which, we're getting better at, but it is a learning curve, you guys. So, hollow body is a reverse tabletop position for those of you who are newer to this position. So, I've been doing this in all my conditioning classes here. So, knees are stacked on top of my hips, and I have a 90-degree position. My shoulder blades are just coming off the floor. There's no space in my low back and no mountain in my belly. So I'm really hugging my belly, my ab muscles into my spine, and then pressing my spine into the floor. I'm gonna have my hands out here. I'm gonna take my legs out and in. Maybe you're like, that's crazy talk. Maybe you're gonna work on taking one out and then the other. So this is sort of position one. Position two is one leg out, and then position three is full legs out, maintaining that position. So let's do 5. Whichever variation you like. Exhale, inhale. When you reach the down position, squeeze your butt, squeeze everything in. Stay looking up at the ceiling. 2 more. Nice work. Hopefully your abs are feeling a little bit warmer. Come back and come onto a seated position and take your hands together and take a wrist circle like so. And go the weird direction. And take your hands out. Take a flick in each finger. And a full flashlight. I'm sure you're all missing these, huh? And take your hands down on the floor in front of you, like so. You'll be in a regular tabletop position, and we're going to use our wrists and our hand muscles to press up to what I like to call tent fingers, and back down. Up, down. Good, let's go 5 more. Nice, and then we're just gonna move our hands in several positions. So I'm gonna take my fingers to the outsides of my body, my fingers forward, out, behind, back, all the way around. And I'm just patting down and going in a little circle here, getting my wrists used to the feeling of pressing into the floor and stretching out in multiple positions. Let's go all the way around again. Very nice. And then we're going to tuck our fingers towards our body into a palmar flexion, so tops of the hands are on the floor. And here, if you're like, oh my God, that's so hard, walk your knees in a little closer and take some of the weight off. So if that's pretty difficult. Otherwise, if you're doing okay here, you're gonna just try to curl your fingers in and out a few times. Nice, take them up and roll them out. Okay, so again, we in aerial talk a lot about our shoulder position, but we have an elevated scapula position in our handstand position. So I want to look through that on the floor. So you're going to take your arms up and just work on shrugging your shoulders up to your ears and down. So often we talk about this being shoulder position 1, 2, and 3, which is over-engaged position. So we do these a lot to start off aerial classes, but they are also really great for handstands positions because you need to be in a pushed position when you are handstanding. So we're going to do the exact same thing in our down dog. And what you're focusing on in that shape is not closing off into a plank position, but keeping your ears pinned to your shoulders. So come up into your down dog once again. You're going to take a soft bend in your knees and hug your ears into your shoulders so you can really focus on keeping that nice open shoulder alignment here. And we're just going to shrug our shoulders up and down so you'll feel your ears traveling along the insides of your shoulders. And upper bicep. Let's go 5 more. Excellent. Grab your strap or scarf. I think I mentioned this, that we'd be needing a strap or scarf. And we're going to take a nice wide grip on it. You want to be able to come all the way around without bending your arms. So keeping a nice straight elbow. While I am doing this, I'm doing this on my knees so I can just have a little less to focus on. I am keeping my ribs, sort of my low ribs tucked in, like they're kind of knitting together, at the same time opening my shoulders. If you're having one of these guys, oh, it's so hard, then make your grip a little bit wider on your strap. Let's go one more. Excellent. We're going to make that motion just a little more difficult. Sometimes the same exact distance is fine. I'm going to go maybe a couple inches more. Take one arm across my body, still trying to keep the straight arms. Take it up and around. This is often a very challenging position, so really working on having straight elbows, and if you're struggling with that, go a little bit slower and also widen your grip on the strap. If you have one shoulder that is a bit tighter than the other, you will for sure find that out right now. Nice. Let that go and grab a drink of water. Okay. Block. So we're going to work on the handstand motion on the floor. And so a couple things we've already been talking about, which is the ribs pulling in, the tailbone tucking under, and a really open shoulder with a shrug position. So for those of you that train tight wire with me, you'll know how difficult it is to make all of those many tiny little incremental changes happen. So this is a similar type of practice. It takes a long time and you just have to etch away at it over time. And again, if you want to get involved with a more regular handstands coach, hit me up for some suggestions. I've taken classes from both Taylor and Violet in our area for years, and they're both excellent coaches. I also used to take handstands at a loft, and that, it was a 9-month class and it kicked my butt. And I just have so many things that I do in my practices that it's difficult for me to keep up with all of them, but this is a great time to return to handstands. So grab your block. If you don't have a block, really not a big deal. I'm just using the block as a way to measure where my hands are in space. So you're gonna come and lay on the floor. Extend your arms overhead and press the block in between your hands. You're gonna press the tops of your feet into the ground and find that shrug position in your shoulders again. You're gonna take the top of your head down to the floor. And once we get there, we're going to peel only our ribs off the floor. Everything else is gonna stay touching, including the feet and the hands. And forehead is gonna stay looking at the floor. So take your head down to the floor. Tops of the feet push into the floor, and just the ribs come up. Shrug your shoulders. Hold for a moment. And let it go. We're going to go 4 more times. So look down, inhale. Exhale, just the ribs up. Shrug your shoulders. And let it down. Again, top of the head down. And ribs up. Push. And down, and again, ribs up, push, and down. Amazing what a small motion, how a small motion can be so hard. So we're going to do 2 more, and these last 2, we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're going to bring our gaze from down to the middle part of our block. So again, push down, ribs up, bring your gaze up. Only the ribs up. And bring it down. Take a rest. Last one, inhale, look up at your block. Everything's touching the floor, and now ribs up. Shrug those shoulders up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. It's so small, but so painful. Grab a drink of water. Okay, so another thing I mentioned needing for this class would be a rag or some fluffy socks that you are going to use. I'm using foot sliders. Some of you may have seen these in our studio and wondered, what's the deal? Why does she have so many foot sliders? Well, I love them because they help me move large pieces of furniture, such as our tight wire around, but also they help me move my feet up to my hands. So this time we are going to come into a plank. You're either going to put your rag down at the end. I'm going to use my foot sliders here, or furniture sliders. You can get these at the store, but you shouldn't be going out right now. So just use whatever you have in your house, and feet on the rag. Find your plank position. Nice strong plank position. So pushing through the shoulders, gripping the floor. And I'm going to start first by inhale, exhale, bring my knees to my chest, and come out. I should really feel my hands gripping the floor and still pushing in with my hands to the floor. This is a very active push motion, so I don't want to let anything slump down. Let's go 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Nice job. Okay, so option, we're gonna do 5 more of those, and you have the option to do those same bend to knee tucks. This time around, I am going to work on compressing my body into a pike and bringing my feet into my hands with straight legs. So this is all about trying to stack my hips above my shoulders and without, so the real big difference with this one is trying to maintain that straight line between my hips and my arms versus coming into a plank position, which is quite challenging. It involves a lot of abdominal work, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of pushing with the hands. So let us do it. Get ready in your plank position. Inhale, exhale. And 2, exhale. Inhale on your way down. 3, 4, and 5, and come down. Awesome work. All right. I'm gonna get back on my mat. That was so much fun. Haha. And I'm just going to take my fingers behind me and then stretch them down. Anytime you're feeling some cramping here, take a moment wherever you are, even if I've moved on. Since I can't see you, not a bad idea to listen to your body if your wrists are starting to feel really fatigued. Let's take a circle. And a circle the other way. Nice work. Okay, we are gonna go back to our 3-legged dog and work on a kick-up position from there. So because I just wanna give you some conditioning exercises, don't really worry so much right now, unless you've been down with handstand for a while. Don't worry too much about getting all the way up to handstand here, because I'm not going to talk about bailing or anything like that. I'm going to leave that to handstand coaches. But set yourself down, and I want to keep one of my legs lower to the floor. I like to start my handstands not from standing all the way up, but from my 3-legged dog. Because I find that I can have a lot more control over my handstand instead of sort of just flying my legs up there and being like, ugh, what's gonna happen? So, find your down dog, set one foot to the center, take the other leg up. I need to walk a little bit forward. Other leg up. Now, your bottom leg is gonna act again like a spring, similar to when we did our hop to squat. I'm going to kick off with the bottom leg and land on the bottom leg. The other leg I'm going to attempt to keep nice and straight like a lever. And kick. Down. Inhale, exhale, kick. Nice work. Take a break for a second. Stretch out the tops of your palms. Lewis is so over it. He's just like, oh, you never play with me when we're here. God, it's so boring. Oh. And I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy. But I did bring one of his toys over, so. All right, let us prep for the other side. Set your hands down again. Come back to your down dog. Push into your shoulders. Make sure your ears are planted at your shoulders. Take the opposite leg up. Find that bend in your bottom leg. Nice straight leg with your other, and kick. Down. Try to land really softly like we did when we hopped to squat. Inhale, exhale. fingers and find a little waving motion and wave the other way. And roll it out. All right, so that's it for today. But again, if you would like to explore handstands a little further, you can keep doing these exercises, and there's a lot to be gained from just starting to get deeper flexibility in that position. You'll notice that a lot of handstanders, like really amazing handstanders, are also very flexible and mobile humans. And that is something that if you struggle with your flexibility, this is another great time. So tune into any of the flexibility videos that we are offering right now, and it can be nice, like maybe do this class and then pair it with the flexibility class after to get a nice warm-up. So we are going to sign off for today because I have quite a bit to do today, and one of those things is to actually take care of my cat. But thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes on handstands, conditioning for handstands, and I will see you again later this week. I hope you're all doing really good. Bye.